Chat Place YouTube channel and throughout social media. We'll get you out here well before the top of the hour. Give you guys enough time to get, actually some bets in before the primetime games, because there are some preseason NBA and NHL. We'll have that covered as well. It's a college football game. Before we get started, let's take a look at who's on the show with us here for today. All right, with us, that's Wednesdays with Mitch. Dana Lane will be signing in a little later. We got Ninos, Zawacky, Big Al McMordie, and we've got Chris and Big Al McMordie and Zawacky. Here's how they're going to line up for this evening. We've got Ruffolo, Ninos, McMordie, Zawacky, Lane, Mitch, and then I will close this one out. A lot of baseball on TV right now, so we've got some college football for you pick there, as well as some preseason NBA, NHL, and we also delve into some no season wins, but series prices from the wild card round. So we'll have that covered for you. So let's go ahead. Let's get the show underway. And first up for this evening will be Chris Ruffolo. You'll find him over at Pig Dogs Premium, where he does great work. Also, check him out on the morning shows every single day at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Let's bring in Chris right now. I think we're ready to roll here with Chris. Chris, what's happening?
Tony, we have all the baseball going today. We got a great buffet of action tonight.
Yeah, let's carve up some winners. Let's carve up some winners,
yeah,
Chris.
Exactly.
Let's carve up some winners. We need that extra money so we can get into the carving station. We need that Friday.
Just imagine everybody else that has to line up behind me after this.
Oh my goodness! All right, Chris. We're going to be looking here today with you at season point totals here with the Avs.
Yeah, the defending Stanley Cup champion Colorado Avalanche. And to be expected, they had a very high and lofty point total, I should say, coming into the season, 111.5. And this is a Colorado Avalanche team that has built their team very, very well over the years. They're going to be a contender for the next few years to come, maybe even the next decade. But this feels like a little much. This is an Avalanche team that put up 119 points last year, but that was with guys like Nazem Kadri in the lineup, Andre Burakovsky, and Darcy Kemper in goal, who underwent a career year. But now, Kadri, Burakovsky, and Kemper all gone. Kadri had 87 points last year in 71 games and was a key contributor in the playoffs. Burakovsky put up 60 points, and Kemper, he was fourth in the NHL in 5-on-5 save percentage last year. So losing, guys like that is really going to hurt this Avalanche team. Now, the Avs did go out. They brought in, guys like Alexander Georgiev as a backup goaltender and potentially a starting goaltender from the New York Rangers, and maybe having a more talented lineup in front of him, a more consistent lineup, I should say, will serve Georgiev better in the long run. And the Avs, I think, they're going to contend for the Central Division, be in line for a spot, at the top of the mountain. But 111.5 seems like a bit much. I think this is an Avs team that can get to 105 to 108 points this season. So I'm going to take the under 111.5 on the Avs point total this season.
Under 111.5 regular season point total here from Chris. As you got the good rundown here from Chris. Well, which teams, as we look at the team, you think are going to lose some points? Which teams do you think may gain, show some improvement this year in the Western?
In the West, I honestly think that you're going to see St. Louis take a step forward. This is a St. Louis team that, I mentioned it a lot of times when I was doing St. Louis videos last year. This is a team that still is only going to be 4 years removed from winning the Stanley Cup, and the majority of that core is intact. They were just dealing with some questionable goaltending last season with Ville Husso and Jordan Binnington splitting time. Husso's now gone. I can't think of the top of my head off of who St. Louis brought in, but Jordan Binnington's still there. Binnington was an integral part of St. Louis winning the Cup 4 years ago, and if he can get back to some of that form, the Blues are going to be in a great spot to maybe even challenge the Avalanche at the top of the Central this season.
What are your thoughts here on the goalie situation with Vegas, and can Edmonton bounce back after that disappointing postseason?
Vegas, they seem to have handed the keys to Logan Thompson, and maybe that's a gift considering that we never know if Robin Leonard can play a full season, and even then I think it was going to be a goalie split anyways. I'm not buying into Logan Thompson just yet. That's not to say that, we won't make money with him over the course of the season. But, it's going to be a wait-and-see approach with me from Vegas. As far as Edmonton goes, I'm still concerned that this team is just a bit too top-heavy. Obviously, you're going to have guys like McDavid and Draisaitl leading that charge. But what was the problem for Edmonton a lot of times last year, even though they had a very nice season and had a nice run in the postseason, was that a lot of times they were just losing because they didn't have enough depth. And as good as Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are, they can't make up a whole 25-man roster. I think that depth might hurt them a little bit more.
And the goaltending too, right? Giving up some of those bad goals.
Well, that's how many times do we see that in the playoffs with Edmonton? Was they could outscore a lot of teams, but then when push came to shove with the goaltending, it kind of let them down. You can only do so much with the offense before you actually have to play a little bit of defense and keep the puck out of the net.
Sutter at Calgary, I saw him with the Kings. Those teams will play hard for him, that grind-out style, but it kind of wears over time, when you play that really defensive style, hard-hitting, tough, tight-check type of game.
Well, we've sort of shifted away from that in the faster NHL. This isn't your NHL from the 80s, 90s, and even early 2000s, where this was a very physical game and, you really had to earn your goals. It's been about speed now, and I think you're not seeing as much. What's the word I'm looking for? You're not seeing as much hard-hitting defending as it is just agitating defending. Like, you're seeing guys like Brad Marchand and Nazem Kadri who just get the other team's skin. They don't necessarily play a tough defensive style, but they agitate. They hack and hack and hack, and it throws you off a little bit. And I think that's kind of just the generation we're in now.
All right, Chris here on Avalanche, under 111.5 regular season points, minus 115. All right, Chris, I want to let everybody know what's going on over at Pick Dogs. We know it's just a single pick tonight here from college football. Of course, we're headed into a week here with the wild card playoffs, football again tomorrow, and into the weekend. What do you have going over at Pick Dogs Premium?
I'm talking. We still got, like you said, it's a small card time. We only got the UCF and SMU game left on the board, which I still have a $15 play on for tonight. But don't let the small card tonight deter you. This is still a great time to hop on long term. You get the Thursday night game tomorrow. You're going to get like Tony said, the Friday divisional the wild card round games, as well as some college football. And a lot of us have those college football plays in already, or even Friday night we have them in. So you'll get the college football for Saturday as well, even if you just hop on the 3-day. The week gets you into the NFL. The month will get you into the NBA and the NHL seasons. The year still gets you full seasons for around $100 a month with me. Or pair me up with someone else for the 2-for-1 capper promotion. And still remember to use that promo code 15 off. Can't go wrong getting a great deal at Pick Dogs Premium. We're only going to add to it. That's right, guys. Again, I'm board here with Chris Ruffolo over at Pick Dogs Premium. Come off a winning day yesterday. Has that $15 premium play up there right now from that UCF and SMU game. So get on board with that. Of course, credit guarantee means it must turn a profit, or the amount you purchase is credit back in your account. That's a credit guarantee. A lot of plays up there for you from Chris. He does have action here from college football and NFL season pass, render of season passes up there for you, as well as the 1 month all pass. You can get all of Chris's plays here for the month, premium plays. All his baseball should take you right to the game 6 of the World Series with that 1 month all sports pass, as well as all the hockey, which begins here this weekend as they drop the puck up in Prague here with the 2 games here, where it looks like Nashville and San Jose. And then the North American opening night early next week. So lots of action there. NBA starts in 13 days now. So lots of action with that 1 month pass. This is where the long-term passes are really good value now, with all these sports starting to overlap. Of course, baseball plus makes it a lot exciting. Of course, the football as well. All right, Chris, as always, great having you show. Have yourself a great evening. We'll tune in, of course, every day, 10 a.m. each time. Of course, with you, Mitch, and Rod in the morning show. Absolutely great time every morning. You're starting to see the green screen put into effect a little bit more. Everybody's getting a laugh out of it, and I mean, you got to only see what's going to happen tomorrow. I can only imagine. But thanks for having me on, Tony. Always a good time with you. Always is. All right, Chris Ruffolo here on the drive. Here, let's continue on. Let's go out to the Skype world and welcome in El Ninos. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Let's see if we can bring in El right now. Got some NHL preseason hockey for you. Bringing El right now. Oh, wrong out. This is the El. All right, El, what's going on?
Going pretty good. How are you, Tony? Doing great. All right, here we go. El Ninos, we're going here to NHL for tonight. Rangers here to host the Bruins. Rangers sitting here at minus 165, total 5.5. Is that the price you're seeing? Because, I'm seeing the Rangers around minus 200, and just a little bit overpriced here for my liking. They are the healthier team playing at home. They do have the better goalie, but Jeremy Swayman isn't terrible himself. He's definitely not the worst option in the league to attend the net. So I think he definitely is going to keep his team in this game. Obviously, on the other side, you got one of the best goalies in the league in Igor Shesterkin. But again, as I mentioned before, the Rangers, the healthier team. The Bruins are dealing with a couple of pretty significant injuries here. McAvoy is out, Marchand's out, Hall's out. But they still have a couple really talented players still healthy in the lineup, and at this price, I'm seeing plus 180 here. I gotta take a shot with the Bruins. Definitely not going to be an easy game by any means, but we're definitely getting a lot of value with Boston here, so taking the Bruins on the money line.
All right, we got El Ninos. Yeah, it is. I had to refresh my screen here. Rangers are about minus 230 in this game. Yeah, so you're right. The injury numbers there, issues there going up here. So we'll put it up at minus 230. So El Ninos here will be in this one here on the Bruins here. Plus 180 is now the number here. So yeah, I think this news may be coming in late in this game.
Yeah, well, actually, this line kind of went up and down a little bit, but but I was thinking of a different line I wanted to give out tonight. But as I said, a ton of value here on Boston nonetheless, and it did creep up, and we're just getting more value here, so definitely worth taking a shot on.
We're taking a shot here with the Bruins here in the preseason situation. Yeah, of course, it's the spring. Here we are in preseason. These numbers are going to be pretty volatile here within an hour of the show starting. Your kind of thoughts overall? Look here in the East here with the Bruins and Rangers here. Islanders also in there.
Oh, I'm not the biggest futures guy, but definitely an up-and-coming division there. A lot of teams that definitely coming off pretty good seasons, and I expect the Rangers to keep, they may have the better season of these two teams, but again, Boston's still one of the top teams in the league, especially when they're healthy, and as I said, the Rangers definitely a team to look out for. I
should have asked you about your Lightning.
I was thinking of just looking at tickets for the home opener today, actually, surprisingly enough, but yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see if I make it to that one or not. But anyways, back to this one real quick. The Rangers, they've had a couple pretty good seasons. I do expect this team to keep building some chemistry and keep improving during the next couple of seasons. So definitely a team to look out for here, the Rangers.
All right, here we go with Al here on the Bruins plus 180 against the Rangers. This one will have a start time here of, let's get the time up for you here, of 7 Eastern time. All right, El Ninos, let's go over at Pick Dodge Pin for tonight's action. Of course, we do have a UCF game from college football, also preseason up there as well, but we're heading into a football weekend tomorrow in the NFL and more. What do you have going over at Pick Dodge Premium?
Yeah, baseball obviously off the board, but still got to play in the college football game tonight, Wednesday night football. It's not every day we get that, so you want to check that out. Been doing pretty well on the premium side, so check it out while it's hot, and of course already got my Thursday night football game up there as well, so if you want to check that out as well, grab that, or better yet, the long-term or 2-for-1 capper passes are definitely your best way to go.
That's right, guys. I got on board with Al Ninos over at Pig Dogs Premium tonight. As Al was mentioning, we have that college football game up, UCF and SMU. Thank goodness we got something, right? Other than preseason. Also showing good profit, coming off a really good day yesterday. 275 units of profit last 24 hours. He does have that Wednesday game up there. Credit guarantee, which means it must turn a profit or the amount you purchase is credited back into your account. That's credit guarantee there on that Wednesday play from college football. Also, El Ninos in with plays from Thursday night football. Of course, the long-term pass will serve you well. That 7-day pass will get you all of El Ninos' premium plays for 7 days. That will cover the entire wild card round. Also dip into game 1 of the NL and ALDS series that will begin on Tuesday with that 7-day All Sports Passport. So a lot of baseball there with that, as well as all the football. The NFL, will be Thursday, Sunday, and Monday with the 7-day pass, as well as all your college football. Wednesday, Friday, as well as Saturday. So good pass right now to get that 7-day All Sports Pass. Use the promo code WIN15 at checkout, and you'll save 15%. All right, El Ninos, as always, great having you show. Have yourself a great evening. We'll talk with you again tomorrow.
Yeah, I might just get that next week's Thursday night football as well, that weekly pass. So
there you go.
Yeah, never a bad time for one of those. But thanks, Tony, and you have a good one as well.
Yeah, you got it. El Ninos getting those games in early, so you'll get, that's right, that bonus Thursday night next Wednesday with that 7-day pass. All right, let's continue on here with the drive. Let's go ahead and welcome in Big Al McMordie. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs Pim. Another great year here in 2022 here as we hit the stretch run here of the year with a lot of football, a lot of basketball, a lot of volume plays coming in here to close out 2022. So let's bring in Big Al McMordie in right. Al, how you doing?
Got to unmute myself. Pretty good, Tony. How are you today?
Doing great. All right, here we go. 7 Eastern time on ESPN. We've got this makeup from the game that was originally scheduled for Saturday. UCF here to host SMU. UCF from 3 now down to 2.5, total 62.
Yeah, the Mustangs are off back-to-back losses. UCF off back-to-back wins. This is actually going to be one of the rare times where I'm going to take the team off back-to-back wins and go against the team off back-to-back losses. The main reason is that SMU historically has just been horrible as a road underdog of plus 10 points or less. Or actually, you can even take it all the way down to Pick'em, where they're 13-40 ATS. So we saw this situation earlier this year when SMU traveled to College Park, Maryland, to play the Terrapins, and they were a 3-point underdog in that game. They lost that by 7, 34-27. So once again, they're an underdog here, 2.5 to 3 points. It's just their worst point spread roll. And then the favorite has won the last 10 meetings straight up in this series, going 7-2-1 ATS in those 10 games. So I'm going to take the favored team today. I'm going to take UCF minus the points.
All right, Big Al here going to take here UCF minus the 2.5 here against SMU here. It's just, as you said here, it's just SMU in this role. Usually one of those teams that's kind of all offense. The defense sometimes lacking with this Mustangs team.
Yeah, I love taking SMU at home, but I just hate taking them when they travel, and especially not at a short price where it's 10 points or less. So,
all right,
look for that to come in again.
We got Big Al here minus 2.5 with at UCF against SMU. This one will have a start time here of 7 p.m. Eastern time. ESPN will televise. All right, Big Al, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs Premium for tonight's action. Of course, we got that one game on the card, but we're heading into big football weekend here Thursday. The baseball playoffs begin here on Friday. Showing great results here for 2022, 2,806 units of profit, all documented. What do you have planned this weekend over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Well, today I had a nice winner on the Baltimore Orioles in game 1 of the doubleheader. I am finalizing my football card probably tonight, and tomorrow we'll get some stuff posted. If folks want to check out, Mitch and I did a NFL preview show earlier today, so that's at the Pick Dogs channel. We talked about all 16 NFL games. And I'll probably end up having in the NFL maybe 7 or 8 plays, and college maybe 7 or 8 plays as well.
That's right, guys. You got to roll with Big Al McMordie over at Pick Dogs. Great results here. You see over 2,800 units of profit for 2022. So get on board for a big weekend of winners from Big Al. You can get on board here with that. You can try him out for that 1 month all sports pass. Get all the Big Al's premium plays here for 1 month. It will include all his NFL, all his college football, as well as the baseball playoffs. Take you right to about Game 6 of the World Series with that 1 month all sports pass, as well as if it's in action, any early hockey. El has already said that he's going to be in action early with the NBA, which starts 13 days from now. So we're 13 days away from the start of the NBA. So that's also part of that 1 month all sports pass. Of course, you could use the promo code WIN15 at checkout. That will save you 15% off. You can also match Big Al with another capper with that 2-for-1 capper promotion. Even greater value there. Of course, Al's football records, as we've said before, Al, on the show, second to none. You've been documented for over 30 years with great success.
Yeah, and for the Pick Dogs NFL preview that I do with Mitch and Jay, I think we've talked about now 64 games. The record's 45, 18, and 1 over those for me over those 64 games so far. So 16 more winners up on the show if folks want to tune in and watch it for week 5.
That's right. It's already archived. They just shot it. So, guys, check out the Week 5 show here from the NFL over on the Pick Dogs YouTube on archive. And, of course, Al, is always great having you show. Have yourself a great evening. We'll talk with you again tomorrow.
Thanks, Tony. See you tomorrow.
You got it. Big Al McMordie here on the Drive Thru. Guys, if you missed any of our picks, we will do a recap here at the end of the show, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Let's continue on here on the Drive Thru. It's time to welcome in Rod Zawacky. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs Premium, also part of the morning team every single day at 10 a.m. Eastern time, so make sure you tune in, and you can check out some more picks here from Chris, Mitch, and Rod Zawacky. So we'll bring in Rod for you right now here. I think we'll get to him. Rod Zawacky. There we go. Rod, ready to roll. Rod, what's happening?
Not too much, Tony. Enjoying it as Wednesday, another sunny day. And taking them in while you can.
That's right. Take them all in as you can. It's a good night day today. Of course, we'll have at least college football. A lot of preseason NBA and NHL tonight, so that'll keep us entertained. This one here looks good here tonight at 7 Eastern time. 76ers here to host the Cavs. Philadelphia -4.5, total 219.5.
Yeah, you look at this game, and I'm excited. Actually, I'm tuning in to watch this game tonight. Lots of good stars actually going to make their start in this game. Donovan Mitchell's going to make a start for the Cleveland Cavaliers in this one. And you look also, Karis LeVert, he averaged 17 points a game last year. Kevin Love's going to check in. Garrett Allen for the Cavs as well, and Garland. I like that lineup that the Cavs are putting out there on the floor tonight. How many minutes are these guys going to play? That's the question. I think they play a lot more than the starters for the 76ers, as this will be the 76ers' second preseason game of the year. 76ers got Embiid, Tucker, Harris, and then old man Harden still has a job. I don't know how. Just floors me. He just seems more of a hindrance on the floor than a help in your team. But so for me, I'm going to take the plus money, and I'm going to take the Cavaliers to upset the 76ers. I think the last game the 76ers came out, and we seen how many points they scored, and it was craziness. And I think they had a little B in their hat, and they had to beat up on the Nets. we know that. So I think their starters don't go as long in this one. They play the second strings a little longer, and I think the Cleveland Cavaliers get the win in this one.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, the big M word, motivation, right? There was some motivation in that game here against it. And you got this up-and-coming team, this Cavaliers, which I know made money for people last year with their style, both on and off the court. Of course, we're going to say this for everybody. It's always about the health, right? They've got the pieces there to definitely make the postseason, and we'll see how often will we get them in underdog roles. And of course, the plus is always great, but it's always good to get the +5, the +4. Will we see that? The question is, will we see that during the regular season?
Maybe early. Maybe early against some teams to see how things go, because they're unsure of how they're going to go. And I think Cleveland's going to have a really one of the up and coming super year. I think with the pickup of Mitchell, they already had a bunch of young talent around to surround him with. I think that's why he came to Cleveland. I think he just made Cleveland better, and puts Cleveland in the talk of the running of top 10 in the league. So, and I think it starts here. I think he comes out and he plays. I think the starters play a good chunk of minutes here for the Cavs, and more than the 76ers starters play. Let's put it that way, because I don't think the 76ers have as much motivation in this game as what they did last time. And that's basically what you do in preseason. You got to see how long the starters are going to go, and I don't think they go as long as what they did in the first game here.
Yeah, especially with the long grinding season. Of course, Cavaliers kind of sitting with some of those teams. We'll see Detroit be the next team to rise here. They're getting some good young talent, made some points, bad covers for people. Orlando on paper looked like they could be a team that can prove it too. But again, health was the big issue with them. You know what it is with these injury reports.
Yeah, exactly right. Lots of teams. Injuries are big in the NBA, and let's hope they don't wait till right before tip off to give us some injury news.
Yeah, Charlotte makes the playoffs. Yeah, Charlotte makes the playoffs. Then they make the coaching change. So that's something to keep an eye on there with that Charlotte team. There's a lot happening here in the NBA to keep an eye on. Of course, we got Rod here on a good plus here with the Cavaliers +160 against 76ers. This one will begin here at 7 Eastern time. All right, Rod, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs Premium. Of course, we do have that one game on the board here from college football, as well as, it's an NFL weekend beginning tomorrow and doing great work in the NFL document. What do you have going on this weekend over at Pick Dogs Premium?
And actually, tonight I do have a play in tonight's college football game. I got my 10-star college football executive info play. You can scoop it up over at Pick Dogs Premium. Still available. Use the promo code. Get your 15% off and pick it up. Or I'll be putting in my NFL play right shortly as soon as we're done off the show here. So you'll be able to pick it up shortly. So definitely grab the 3-day, 7-day, or one of them 30 days as NHL's right around the corner. NBA's right around the corner. So lots of packed sports. We'll have lots of loaded packed sports action coming up in the future. Lots loaded. You have NBA playoff or MLB playoffs. We've got NBA. We'll have hockey. And then you got football, college football, NFL. I'm excited. Yes, it's that time of year where everybody's going and sports goes nuts. I love it.
Yep, it's going to all go nuts here, guys. Get on board here with Rod Zawacky over at Pick Dogs. Preem, you see the numbers here, NFL, good start to the NFL season. He's got a college football executive info play up there right now from that tonight's college football game. Credit guarantee, meaning it must turn a profit. The amount you purchase is credit back into your account for side credits. That's credit guarantee. That's on all the individual plays, one-day passes, not on the long-term passes because they're already sold at a bigger discount. Of course, you can get on board here with Rod's plays here. He does have long-term passes, 3, 7, $30 sports pass. Over at Pick Dogs Premium. So he's put together a really good pass for you guys. And of course, Rod, that popular one we talked about, that 3+1, you get the NFL, NHL, college football, and NBA all in one pass here for a good price.
Yeah, that's best deal going. You get all 4 major sports there at a discounted price. You get the whole season, playoffs included in all those. So can't go wrong with that. Jump aboard. Let me make you some money.
Making money here with Rod Zawacky with that 3+1 season pass. You'll find it as you scroll down his page. You can access Rod's page by clicking the link here in the description. Look for the all cappers. You'll find him there and get signed up and use the promo code WIN15 at checkout. You'll save 15% off. Good savings of $150 off that 3+1 season pass right now from Rod. All right, Rod, as always, great having you show. Have yourself a great evening, and we'll catch up with you again on Friday.
Definitely. You guys have yourself a good evening. And take care. We'll see you guys Friday. By the way, the Oilers have a lot more depth this season than what they did last year.
How about the net behind the goalie position?
We've got like 3. We got Skinner back there. We got Soup, and then we got a couple rookies that are even looking good. So the Oilers won't have an issue in goal this season. And scoring wise, no. Scoring wise, here's a bonus for you. I like Dylan Holloway to win the Calder Trophy this year. He's going to win Rookie of the Year. He's already scored, 4 preseason goals already? This guy's ripping it up. He's going to rip it up again. He's going to win the Calder. With that, an extra scoring punch, he's going to be another... He's one of those under-the-radar type of players that are going to win the Calder. He's going to score a lot. Like, the Oilers have lots of depth this year. They've got Philip Broberg, another guy. Big defenseman, big gritty defenseman. They built some and added some guys. They got Kulak. They signed him to a long-term deal on the back end. So it's not just Darnell and Nurse back there. And Darnell Nurse last season, he was injured. He was injured, I'm going to say, at least 70% of the year and gritted it out through most of the season last year. I think he steps up and has himself a big year. Puarvi, they've taken him under his wing. They've taken Pularvi under their wing, and they've been toughening him up all season. They took him fishing. They took him marlin fishing to toughen him up. This Oilers team has become a family, a great grit knitting team. They all get together. They go out and play golf. They all go get together and have dinner. You know what happened that last time the Oilers team did that? They hoisted the Stanley Cup.
Wow. But Vegas, but Vegas wasn't in the league back then.
Right?
That's the thing. You got to be careful with though. You got to be careful with that. All right, Rod. As always, great having you show. Keep up the great work. We'll talk with you again on Friday.
All righty. Take care, everybody. Hey, smash that thumbs up. Costs you nothing. Helps us out a ton. Appreciate it. Take care, everybody.
You got it. Rod Zawacky here on the drive to. Yes, those teams, we get careful. Just think Vegas was in the league back in the 80s. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's continue on here on the drive to. Speaking of Vegas, let's go ahead and bring in Dana Lane. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs Premium. We'll bring him in right now. We've got some more NHL coverage for tonight for you guys. We're getting ready to start the season this weekend here as they dropped the puck in Prague on Friday. Let's see if we get Dana Lane here. Maybe I went too far here. Let's see. Get on my switchboard here, and we'll bring in Dana Lane. Got a lot of people on the show, I can tell you that. Here we go, Dana. Dana, what's happening?
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Doing great. All right, here we go. 10 each time. Latest game on the card tonight. Vancouver here to host Edmonton in the preseason. Vancouver minus 125, total 6.5.
Yeah, I echo those sentiments about Holloway too. I've heard so much about him. I mean, he probably is going to be a third line guy ultimately, but as far as a candidate to win the Calder, I couldn't agree anymore. I mean, he's a guy that's not flying under the radar, and that's what happens when you score a hat trick in preseason. So agree with that for sure. But this game tonight, of course, is going to be playing in Abbotsford, British Columbia, which is where the Vancouver Canucks AHL team plays. And some interesting things when you're looking at a total. I usually look at travel for both teams. I like both teams to be settled in before, when I'm going with under. I think when teams are a little erratic and traveling a lot, I think that leads to a lot of overs, even though Edmonton's pace of play usually leads to overs as well. But Edmonton's been in BC since Monday. They've done some charity things. They're settled, and their game plan is settled. But what's not settled, by comparison to what just happened the other night on Monday, where Edmonton absolutely demolished the Vancouver Canucks, is that the lineups are going to be a little bit different. And this is just going by morning rushes. And, of course, in preseason, you have to kind of play it by ear when the game starts and see who's in warm-ups. But I do know this. I know Kane and Draisaitl are not going to be in the lineup for Edmonton. Holloway is going to be on that top line with Connor McDavid, which is going to be interesting to see. Maybe he makes his way up on that line eventually anyway. And in goal, things are going to be a little bit different. Stuart Skinner, who spent a lot of time, or spent all of his time really, in Bakersfield last year, absolutely ripped up the American Hockey League. A kid that really should be getting his opportunity there. I think the fan base feels that way as well. He'll be likely the starting goaltender tonight. And then Demko is going to get the start for Vancouver. So it's going to be much more of a representation of what you will see during the regular season tonight for Vancouver, and a little less, although when Connor McDavid's on the ice, you got to factor that in as well, but a little bit less for Edmonton. So I think from a Vancouver standpoint, if I'm Bruce Boudreau, I have to look at this game and just say, hey, look, we need to play better defensively. We are not going to make any noise in this division if we don't play well defensively. And you kind of throw that game out Monday, although I don't think bettors throw that game out. I think they look, oh, well, this is a 9-point game on Monday. The lineups are completely different tonight. So I think Edmonton's going to come back a little bit. I think Vancouver's going to move up a little bit. And I think this is going to be about a 3-2 game. That's what I'm looking at. And interesting to know on that number with Vancouver minus $1.60, Tony, that is a big number. That's a surprising number when these lineups, although Edmonton missing some of their big guns, they have plenty of firepower left. And minus $1.60 might be something that you, on the underdog side, you might want to jump on. But I do like the under in this. They can't give up 36 shots like they did the other night. I don't think that they will. I think this will be a much better played game, and I think it's going to be a tighter game as well. So I'm going under that total of 6.5.
Under 6.5. Of course, we get into the North American start of the season here into next week. So we're winding down the preseason. And a question for you here, Dana, is there such thing as a dress rehearsal in the preseason NHL? I asked that because I went to the Kings Sharks preseason game early, their second game, and it was a real sloppy game because you had a mix of veterans with a lot of prospects, and you know how it is with the chemistry out there. It's a fast game, and it can be sloppy if you don't know your line mates very well. And do we see a situation where we can get an edge as bettors, looking where you can look out? Maybe there's a situation where you have more of a dress rehearsal where you get everybody that's going to be in your starting in your lineup maybe like the second to last preseason game, or how does that flow in hockey?
I think that goes by organization, Tony. I mean, I know in Vegas. Here, I mean, looking at line rushes here and going to a few preseason games, I mean, the lineups that are being thrown out there are not what you're going to see opening night. But, they do like to get cohesion on the power play or the penalty kill. It just depends on the organization. But as it goes on, there's probably 1 or 2 games right before the end where you're going to see, that dress rehearsal. But I think most of that, as you're seeing in the NFL right now, most of that dress rehearsal is being done in practice, playing against each other. Those line rushes, when they throw those out during practice, is really what you'll see during the regular season. But just like the regular season, you're going to change up line combinations, and there is going to be different combinations out there. So I don't think it's these are the starters and these are the backups. It's not that way in the NHL. I think it's let's find cohesion on our lines, and whether we do that in practice or in preseason games depends on the organization.
And it's a lot of AHL guys that are in there with the A team.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, okay. There is not so much at this time of year because most of the roster cuts have already been made. Vancouver, after the game on Monday, made a bunch of roster cuts. So you're down into the teens where you need to be at this point. But no, I think a lot of these guys are going to move on and stick. I think there's going to be one more round of cuts, but after that, I mean, it's pretty much what you will see. I mean, as far as the roster is concerned, this coaches just like to use this time of year to figure out what combinations are going to work. And remember, you got 4 lines that you got to find combinations for.
Yeah, you certainly do. All right, we have Dean here, Edmonton, Vancouver, under total of 6.5. This one will have a start time here of 10 Eastern time. All right, Dana, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge Premium here, showing great results here in the NFL. 470 units of profit in the NFL for this season. Great start to the season. We know we get Week 6 started tomorrow with Thursday night, heading into a big weekend. No buys, so we're gonna have a big card here from the NFL. Of course, college football tonight. Of course, heading into NHL as well as we start the season in Europe. What do you have going over at Pick Dodge Premium?
I mean, a ton is up there right now. I have tonight's college football game. I had 7 college football games for Saturday already up. And, of course, we're studying hard for the NFL or for the NHL and the NBA season. It's usually the bread and butter. Either the NHL or the NBA is really good to my customers. So we're very excited about that. And, like Rod alluded to, this is such a busy time of year. I mean, you're handicapping and watching and documenting. This is a crazy time of year. So the reason why I bring that up is, a lot of people have, they have jobs and they have families to take care of, and you really need to, give somebody a few dollars to do that work for you, to decipher all that information, to give you the sharpest plays out there. And that's why a lot of us, we work 18 hours a day to make sure that we do that.
Indeed, guys. So get on board here with Dane Lane over at Pick Dog Streams. Got the UCF and SMU play up there for you right now. That's his $15 premium play. Credit guarantee means it must win or the amount you purchase is credit back into your account for side credits. That's credit guarantee. Also, he's made his Colts and Broncos Thursday Night Football Bookie Crusher the $15 credit guarantee pick. So get on board there with that. Of course, you see Dana having a great season here from the NFL. Also in action with a lot of college football. We're looking at some top 25 teams collide here with Tennessee, LSU, TCU, Kansas. So some big plays, Texas, Oklahoma, Razorbacks, Mississippi State. So he's in action here with the big ones here. Utah, UCLA, a lot of top 25 on the card so far from Dana. So get on board here. Now, instead of buying all these plays individually, I suggest maybe a long-term pass. Why don't you get on board with Dana's 30-day all-sports pass? Get all of Dana Lane's premium plays for 30 days. It will include all his NFL, all his college football, all his Major League Baseball. This will take you right to about Game 6 of the World Series as we start the playoffs here on Friday, as well as the hockey, which begins this weekend. So this is the best time. Of course, NBA starts in 13 days, so this is the time to get the long-term pass. All these sports overlapping. As you said, Dana, there's a lot of sports in action. You really need somebody full-time on your side.
Yeah, it's great. I'm just doing my database for the NHL, and then all of a sudden I see on my screen Wizards Golden State when they kicked off the preseason season. I'm like, oh man, here we go, more stuff to do. And then you're going to add college basketball into that in about a month, and I don't know when I'll see my family again.
Oh man, college! It just seems that college football starts earlier and earlier. It just earlier. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a Halloween night opening night. I just see it coming.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely for sure. I kind of wish, and it's a little bit better than it used to be. I wish college would spread things out, because when you're trying to track every game and you're trying to log every game and get your numbers right and your power rankings right, man, those huge Saturdays and those huge Mondays, sometimes you're like, can't we just spread these out? It's better than it used to be, because it used to be there was hardly anything on Friday. I mean, that was like Ivy League night. And then Saturday, you get the avalanche of games. You get a little bit more Friday action now, which helps me out on Saturday. But,
yes,
believe me, guys, whether it's me or any of the other handicappers on this side, I mean, we work hard to make sure that you have the sharpest edge. So, spend $15, $20, $30, whatever it is, to make sure that you have the knowledge and information on your side when you go to the window.
Yeah, back in the day it was just Ivy, and then we saw the MAC, Metro Atlantic, and now we're seeing Horizon. Yeah. We're seeing with Big Ten Network. We're seeing a Big Ten game with Fox 1. We're seeing we're seeing different leagues. Big East, maybe they'll throw one of those in there. Yeah, it's you're starting to see it with TV. We're starting to see the Fridays starting to become larger and larger now. So really, no breath of fresh air anymore. We're we're rolling.
And we got Wednesday night college football.
That's right. Wednesday night college football coming
Different
up.
than it used to be.
That's right. But at least they got this one right. With baseball deciding to play everything at 4 Eastern, so we should be all right.
Exactly. Oh, that's a great move. So not only have things changed, you got Wednesday college football, Tony, but now the books are actually putting numbers on NHL preseason games. I remember when you would never get NHL preseason numbers, you would get very few NBA preseason games, and now the books are putting them up side and total. So, I mean, the amount of time that you really have to exhale, which is usually in June and July a little bit, that is getting squeezed less and less. So you definitely need to have somebody that's on it 24 hours a day.
No doubt about that. All right, Dana, have us continue that great success. We'll talk with you again next week.
All right, buddy. All the best. Have a great weekend.
You got it. Dana Lane here on the drive-thru. Guys, if you missed any picks, we'll do a recap here at the end of the show. Let's continue on here on the drive-thru. Let's welcome in Mitch. Wednesdays with Mitch. We'll bring in Mitch right now. Mitch, what's happening?
Just winding down Major League Baseball.
Yep, wind down.
Watching these final few games.
Yeah, it actually, I wish game 162, the strike zones get wider. There's more swinging. There's a lot more free swinging. I'm kind of enjoying game 162. I got a few games up here because there's action.
Yeah, a lot of teams playing a lot of their starters, which is surprising.
Yeah, and I think for some of especially for some of these bye teams, you're looking at 5 days off, and before they used to complain about that. I remember too much time off is going to hurt our timing. Yeah,
it seems like it, but a lot of these teams are playing their players. I guess keeping them loose.
Yep, and maybe they ask him, "Hey, we want to play." I wouldn't, this way the manager doesn't have to take the heat. Just ask the players if they want to play. Pat up your stats, guys. You're gonna be facing a prospect on the mound, so we'll pat it up. All right, Mitch. Hey, it's exciting now here as we've got a wild card round, the old school mini series 2 of 3. I remember back in the day, Mitch, in the NBA, remember when they used to start the NBA? The first round used to be best of 3. Well, that's deja vu in the baseball, right?
Yep. It's just all playoffs are expanding. All it has to do, wave $1 in front of their face.
That's right. All right. You're going to be looking here at a series price as the Phillies will be the road team in St. Louis.
Yeah, to me, it just seems that this is the most one-sided of these opening round series, and I just think that the Cardinals probably take care of this one in short order, probably winning the first 2 games, and that's it. Calling it a series and getting some rest and off to Atlanta. To me, it just seems that the Phillies are just overmatched in this series. Congratulations on making it to the postseason, but you don't have a team that can compete against the Cardinals. The Phillies have already announced all of their starters: Wheeler, Nola, and then if needed, Suarez. But my guess is Suarez is not going to be needed for that game 3, and we might see him in game 2 in a relief role. The Phillies, Wheeler has come back to the team, but he has not pitched well since he's been back. He hasn't won yet, and the Cardinals added that playoff depth with Montgomery to the starting rotation, and I think the Cardinals just a team that's kind of been there and done that, and the Phillies, a lot of guys that haven't. So I'm going to take the Cardinals, and I think they sweep it as well.
All right, looking here at the Cardinals here to win the best of 3 here, minus 135. Maybe just a progressive parlay here. Take them to win money line 1 and 2. Yeah,
I think you can do that as well. I definitely think they're going to sweep them, and I think it's going to be pretty quick and decisive. I'm going to guess that these wild card round games are not going. These wild card series are not going to go the distance. Most of them.
Yeah, a lot of them with the format there. You're looking at that here. We'll get with Mitch in a second. Let's just do the recap really quickly. Actually, we do have a game starting at the top of the hour, so we'll go to the recap, and then we'll get back with Mitch here. And let me go ahead and let's see. We've got Mitch's pick. We've got to go to the pick recap. So Mitch will help us out here on the recap. We had Chris here with Colorado Avalanche under 111.5 points here, regular season. The total here, minus 115. El Ninos Bruins plus 130 against the Rangers. Big Al McMordie UCF minus 2.5 here against SMU. Rod was on the Cavaliers money line plus 160 against the 76ers. Dana here, preseason hockey, Edmonton, Vancouver under 6.5, minus 120. Mitch likes the Cardinals minus 135 to win best of 3 against the Phillies. I'm on the Guardians here minus 130 to win best of 3 against the Rays, and because the Rays, to me, I think they're going to get hurt most with being on the road. I would like the Rays if they had their games at home, at least, or if this was an old school best of 5 with 2 at home. But the Rays have not been a good road team. Cleveland has beat them 4 of 6 this season, and even the bullpen here, I like what I'm seeing with McKenzie, Shane Bieber, Quantrill. I like what I've seen from the Guardians, Mitch.
Yeah, I like the Guardians as well. They just played the Rays, I think it was last weekend, and beat them up pretty good. So the Rays have not been that great on the road. And, game 1 of any series this season, the Rays have really seemed to struggle. So I think, facing Bieber in game 1, and then McKenzie against Glasnow in game 2 of that series. And then game 3, Quantrill, who really hasn't gotten a lot of credit this year, but he's pitched well too.
Yeah, he's pitched well, and I think the Rays bullpen's better at home. They're going to miss that situation. I think they're hurt the most being on the road. I think of all the teams.
Yeah, I think they're also, Drew, one of the toughest teams. I think of those teams playing in that first round, I think that Cleveland has the best chance to advance in the next round as well.
Which of the two do you see the possible underdog winning of the 4 series?
I would say that San Diego has a chance against the Mets, and I would say Seattle has a chance against the Blue Jays. I think if Seattle can get to Manoah in game 1, that they'll be well on their way. And I think for the Padres, they're catching the Mets, at their worst. And DeGrom and Scherzer at the top of that rotation have not really performed all that well. So I mean, if the Padres, a team that I had written off, week 1. But here they are. They've kind of shown a little bit of guts.
And don't sell off this Padre Darvish and Snell short. Darvish has the experience of Snell. The guy's a 30% strikeout guy. He gets that's pretty good.
He's definitely picked it up recently.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Has picked it up. All right, getting back here with Mitch. We got his play there. Mitch, why don't everybody know what's happened over at Pick Dogs?
Pick Dogs, we're getting ready to head down into NBA basketball. Of course, NHL, we have a lot of guys that are really into that. And, of course, before you know it, it'll be college basketball season. We do have a lot going on behind the scenes at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat. We mentioned a little bit of it last week, but we have even more than that going on. I'm really excited about all that. And I just want to thank everybody for making it another awesome baseball season. I know baseball, for most of us, doesn't rank there, with football or college basketball or NBA or anything like that. But at the same time, it's all we got in the summer. And we did it. I enjoyed going through the season with all of our community out there. So good times.
Yeah, it was a great. As you mentioned before, with legalization, it just seems to be baseball seems to be benefit a lot with legalization in the U.S.
Yeah, I think it did. And back in the day, I was talking to Big Al about this earlier when we were doing our NFL show. Before the show, I was telling him that. Back in the day when I first started Sports Chat, when I had FanDuel was one of my sponsors, I dealt with the founders of FanDuel, were my account representatives, and DraftKings as well. We all started around the same time, but what they told me at the time was that, while football is popular and obviously, the thing that kind of, puts them on the map, it was the day-to-day baseball that really, did it for them. As it's every day, and there's the people that do it, they do it every day. So we know it's not for everybody. We know there's some people that just do football. We know some people that just do NBA, but we cover it all. Something for everyone. Like me, I can't stand hockey for 5 minutes.
Yeah, and of course, I think it's when you kind of look at the betting menu now with baseball. Boy, has it expanded over the years with the Nerfies, with the bet by the innings, even in play live. I think is also a good option with baseball.
Seems to be because as everybody knows, starting pitchers only go 5 innings in a lot of cases these days.
Yeah, no doubt about that. All right, I'm joined here with Mitch. We always touch base, kind of go old school back in the day. We kind of look at some of these college football games. I'll throw some Mitch and Mitch here. Tennessee and LSU. LSU a home dog again here. They're getting +3 in this one.
The only game that they've lost this season was on that blocked extra point against Florida State in the opener, in a game that, who who knows what would happen if they make that and it goes to overtime. So I don't know. I'm still not convinced on Josh Heupel's Vols, so I'm going to take LSU in this one, money line.
Yeah, it's hard not to argue that one here. Now Maryland is going to be hosting Purdue here. We're gonna be laying points here at home against Purdue that actually has played well against Minnesota. So they're going to be a dog here. Looks like about -4 here with Maryland.
Yeah, that Maryland defense is still a problem, and Purdue can pass the football. I think Purdue getting the short end of the stick. I think that loss that they had at the beginning of the year to Penn State really kind of weighing on them. I think the Syracuse loss for Purdue, you can throw that one out because, I mean, I had Syracuse in that game, but there are certain games that, even if you had the team and you bet on, you didn't really win. And I think that Syracuse-Purdue game was one of those games that, the calls went our way, and that was the difference maker in that game. Meanwhile, the Penn State-Purdue game, and Purdue had it until the last minute of the game. They let it get away from them.
Texas and Oklahoma. Texas laying 7.
Yeah, Oklahoma's been favored in every game between these two for like the last decade or so. But I think, getting points here with Oklahoma after the 2 spankings that they've taken, probably not such a bad deal. You're getting a touchdown with the Sooners. And, last I checked, Texas has, got 2 losses already this season, Texas Tech and Alabama. And, they're not wearing a purple and silver uniform, so I don't really like their chances here.
TCU, of course, and Kansas, the Horned Frogs, Dugan at quarterback. They're playing well. The run and pass working for them. Kansas here is going to be a home dog of 7.
The stigma of Kansas still continues to haunt them here. They played really well last week, and I think, we saw TCU play really well against Oklahoma. I think a letdown spot for them. I think more of a, Kansas continues to ride that wave. I think they at least cover here.
At 3:30 Eastern time, UCLA here hosting Utah. Boy, UCLA usually gets pounded in Utah, but they're home here. Utah from 3 now up to -3.5 on the road.
I'm not 100% convinced on UCLA. It's been a little bit of a soft schedule. Even that win against, Washington. Was to me, Washington's terrible on the road. I'm trying to find this football game.
Penix hasn't been strong. Penix hasn't been strong. Even the Big Ten, he hasn't been a really strong. When he was in Indiana, they weren't very strong on the road.
Who do you have in this football game? We haven't kicked off yet.
I took SMU plus the points. I know it.
Yeah, it seemed to be the popular opinion was SMU. I got UCF.
Yeah, and the more I thought about the running game they have there, what got me nervous with UCF was that performance against Louisville.
Yeah, but also you have to remember that while SMU has certainly played the tougher competition, that UCF only allows like a dozen points a game. So I think SMU's a better than a dozen point a game team, but how many are you going to get?
Yeah.
How many? It's like,
and the fact
I think what we've seen like SMU and the Tulsas of the world, over the years is when they play against bigger, more physical teams that they generally struggle. And it's like they're not playing USF here; they're playing UCF, who's like basically a regular team. So I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if
SMU comes out here.
Yeah.
I don't know. SMU comes out here and bombs them. I'm not done.
Yeah, that's right. Well, also, too, was the fact they were able to move the football against Maryland and TCU. That's one of the things that when I looked at the numbers, I looked at the yardage that they put up on those 2 teams. And that's pretty impressive to move the football like that on those 2 teams. So
yeah, Rhett Lashley, was Miami's offensive coordinator last year. So, I'm familiar with him and the hurry up. And, he is certainly one of the good offensive minds in the game. But you're up against Gus Malzahn here, who, while for all of his faults and for all the bad things we could say about him, he has the best record versus Nick Saban head-to-head of any college coach.
Yep.
And that is, and that'll still get you fired at Auburn, but which tells you what we don't need the magic 8 ball to ask what's going to become. Will Brian Harsin be fired at Auburn?
Oh no, Paul Christ. The list. Durrell was he the first one? I think that was could have been favored. That was easy. Durrell was, and then Christ wasn't too hard to pick Durrell. That was easy money.
No, those were easy. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess that Harsin will be gone at Auburn unless they beat Alabama.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, we'll see how that rolls. Well, I was looking at some of these games here. Well, I know, Malik gets a lot of praise here with Michigan State, but you're now 26.5-point underdogs at home to Ohio State.
Yeah, they really have not looked good in their last few games. They've been absolutely crushed in some of them, and it looks like it might be a down year for the Spartans. And Ohio State just has too much depth.
USC from 11 now up to 13.5 at home to Washington State.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Washington State in this one. I think still a lot of confidence here in USC. I think they're overrated. I think that last week you saw them not cover against Arizona State, and I think against Washington State they got a serious chance to lose this one outright.
So that was a scary game against Arizona State. They did not win as handily as Utah did. Iowa State here, the home dog of 2 against a traveling Kansas State.
Kansas State, I like in this one. Iowa State, I think, has been overrated all season as well. Not quite as overrated as some of the other teams, but SMU moving the ball here on UCF to start the game. But that's what happens when you have those smaller players against a physical team. Very tough to hold on to the football.
Yep.
When you get slammed by those big bodies, and I think, that's what we just saw there on that play.
Yep. We've got BYU and Notre Dame on a neutral field here. Notre Dame 3.5.
Yeah, I'm planning on going to this one. So I think I don't know. I think I'm going to go with BYU.
There you go.
Probably
BYU
go as a fan.
Illinois here. They're going to be home to Iowa. An interesting one. We see the total has ticked up a point to 36.5, but Illinois minus 3.5 at home.
Yeah, it's surprising. You would not have thought that this was the line, but now, Illinois actually being a real team, going to Wisconsin, busting them up, and then Iowa kind of just being so flat on offense that, it's hard to rely on them, at all. That I could see Illinois pulling it, but I don't understand how they're favored. I think that this game is a pick 'em at best.
Pick them at best. All right, well, here we go. Mitch, we'll be looking at this one in between Florida State and NC State. NC State's quarterback play, their offense doesn't seem as sharp as in previous seasons. NC State laying 3 here, total 50.5.
Florida State coming off of the tough loss, and there's why a lot of people took SMU right there. As Plumlee throws one right square in the defensive back's hands, but he was unable to hold on. But NC State, on the road is generally not a very good team, and we saw that last week against Clemson. I think the final score was not as close as the game. Florida State took a real tough loss against Wake Forest last week. They were not even very competitive in that thing. I guess Plumlee can throw the ball at least 8 yards. So
that's right. That's the sway. Why are you throwing? Just run the football. That's all you do is run the football.
I like the under in this game, but it's like, man, both these teams running the hurry up. It's like we're 2 minutes into the game. We've had 10 plays already.
I almost gave under first half because I was afraid of the second half. That was the thing that scared me about the under was the second half. That we get the craziness in the fourth quarter. This looked great in the preseason, but Alabama 24 down to 23.5 against Texas A&M.
I never had much faith in Texas A&M, and what we're starting to see, I said that they were one of the more overrated teams this season. And what we've seen from them so far now is they're talking about Jimbo Fisher and the reality of he's not a very good coach. And, the problem that they have with Jimbo Fisher there, and it'll be interesting to see the direction that they go, is they've had some really, really strong recruiting classes. So a lot of those big name players that they brought in are affiliated now with Jimbo Fisher. So if he leaves, with the way the transfer portal works anyway, going to be very hard to keep those players. I don't care how much they're paying them.
Yeah, and one of the more disappointing teams this year has been Stanford. If you've been on them as a dog and with a lot of points, they've just kicked you in the behind and just gave you a big hurt here. They're getting 7 at home against Oregon State.
Yeah, I don't think that's enough. Beavers are the better team here as Plumlee decides to take off. It's going to be fourth and about 1.5 to 2 yards here. It's going to be an interesting decision. I'm going to guess that Gus is going to go for it here.
Yeah, I would think so. Of course, they're the bigger team. Why not? You should. All right, Mitch. We got.
It comes with the job at UCF. It's part of the job. It's part of the coaching interview. It's like
That's right.
0-0 game. You're on the other team's 32-yard line. Fourth and 2.
You got to go. You got to go. All right, Mitch. What else happened over at Pick Dogs? We got the NFL show you shot with Big Al, and of course the college football show coming up.
Yeah, we have the college football show. We have the NFL show. We have a complete site redesign and everything on the way, and a lot more. So we're going to, one of the things that we're going to do as a company from the top end is we're going to segregate out the sites further than what we have now. Right now, it's always been like Pick Dogs and Sports Chat are kind of like brother and sister sites, and they kind of run hand in hand. But we're going to truly split them out and basically have them become just a different entity unto themselves. They are closely related. They are a similar product. The history behind them, it's, I don't have time to even discuss it here, but, a lot of you already know that, and, how you end up with two sites like this. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to, differentiate them in a way that where they don't compete against each other and aren't basically the same things.
Gotcha. So that's
I think you guys are going to really like it.
Nice. All right, Mitch. It's always great having you on the show. We'll tune in at 10 a.m. tomorrow with the morning show with the crew there. I know we got the Thursday night NFL game, of course, leading up to the playoffs, as well as the good football weekend as well.
Yep, this is our time to sleep 2 hours a night. See everyone tomorrow morning.
You got it. Catch up. All right, Mitch here on the drive-thru. We got to the recap with you guys. With Mitch was helping me out with it. Just again, we'll recap again. We do have a game in progress, but we had covered that right before the top of the hour. So I'll just give you guys a refresher here on our plays here. We took Chris was on Avalanche under 111.5 regular season points, a -115. Ninos Bruins +130 against the Rangers. McMordie, as we know, UCF -2.5 against SMU. Rod Zawacky, Cavaliers money line +160 against the 76ers. We had Dana on Edmonton, Vancouver under 6.5. Mitch was on the St. Louis Cardinals to win the best of 3 against the Phillies. And I was on the Guardians to win the best of 3 against the Rays. And I like the Guardians at home. They've won 4 of 6 against them. Good starts here by McKenzie and Quantrill in that 3-game series they had against them. Beaver played well in Tampa Bay, but I think the home field is going to, the way this playoff is set up, I think it's going to hurt the Rays the most, because the Rays are not a very good road team, and they've been really good at home in the postseason. They're going to be away. I think it does impact their pitching, does impact their bullpen, and I like what I'm seeing from the Guardians bullpen as well in this spot. And I believe the Rays were close to 10 games under 5. Let me double check that. I believe they were close to let's see here on the road. Yeah, entering tonight's game, they were 10 games under 500. They're losing right now 4-3 to Boston here, and Boston at bat looking to add on with the bases loaded. So this is already looking to be another loss. So if they go down tonight, which again is not really a meaningful game, but still it's a road game. They've lost. They will be 11. If they lose this one, they will be 11 games under 500 on the road. So again, they need the home field. Of course, the Guardians have been 10 games over 500 entering today's contest, which I do believe today they were in action here. They win today, so they're 11 games over 500 at home. So I'm going to go with their Guardians to win the best of 3 here against the Rays. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Drive-Thru, guys. Be sure to tune in again here tomorrow live here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll do it all over again. We'll bring our cappers in from Pick Dogs, Sports Chat Place. We'll give out live free picks for the games in prime time. And make sure you do that. Check out the morning shows every day at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. It's Mitch with Rod Zawacky, as well as Chris Ruffolo. And don't forget the video series. We got Mitch's 7 picks in 5 minutes. We got Javon's parlay. We also have Ron Romanelli's rundown. Check those out, as well as the MMA shows on MMA Weekends with Brad and Mills, and of course the NFL football show that aired today earlier this afternoon with Mitch and Big Al McMordie on the archive. And tomorrow we'll have the college football show with Mitch and Chris on Romanelli. So make sure you guys tune in, and make sure you like and subscribe and set those notifications. So when we drop these new shows, you're there with us. So make sure you guys like and subscribe. That's going to do it for the show. We'll go ahead and bring in our crew for tonight. We're going to wait good night to you guys. You guys have a great night. We'll talk with you guys again tomorrow here